Yo guys, Vision SGen here, bringing you more Minecraft Survival, and in this episode, which is episode 3, I'll be breaking down the full Ancient Debris and Netherite guides, explaining how to find Ancient Debris, which is the raw material needed for Netherite, how to find the smithing templates, what resources you need in order to craft Netherite armor, and also just general tips and tricks along the way that I've learnt finding Netherite for the first time in over 10 years, as this is my new survival world. So on that note, let's get right into it. So first things first is understanding where you can find this raw material, known as Ancient Debris, which can be found at Y level 8 to 15 in pretty much all of the biomes in the game, as well as searching through the Bastion Remnants, which I'll be creating a separate guide on my channel explaining the Bastion Remnants themselves, all the different types, what loot to expect, and tips and tricks and so on. So in this video, and my advice would be to strip mine between Y level 12 and 13, so you're standing on those levels, in order to find the most amount of ancient debris in this game, as well as doing it in the safest possible method. For me, if you sort of mine with about 3 steps backwards, you won't encounter lava, because even if you do, you are safe from doing so. You'll be able to place a block to block it from actually interrupting you. And also, if you ever find ancient debris, make sure you mine around it, because there is going to be hidden lava at times that can really catch you out by either hurting you or just completely taking away the ancient debris, because it's going to fall in lava. So just be cautious of that. As you can see in this gameplay, I am mining completely around. I don't always do it. I am guilty of doing so just to save time sometimes, but you definitely want to be removing all of the blocks around, as you'll not only be safer, but you can actually find more ancient debris by doing so. But also, as another tip, is if you are aware of what biome is above you, i.e. if you've just started your strip mine, which I appreciate if you're deep into it, you won't have a clue what's above you, but if you've just started, knowing which biome above you is kind of helpful, because if you're mining below the nether waste or the warped forest biomes, this is safer for mining as there's less lava, and you're more likely to find more ancient debris, and also less issues. However, if you're mining below the basalt deltas, you're going to be in a higher risk area where there's going to be lava everywhere, so I would highly recommend not mining in this area if you can avoid doing so. Now, as well as this, as I mentioned at the start of the video, you can only find ancient debris in either the Bastion Remnants or strip mining between Y level 8 and 15. You cannot find this material in the nether fortresses, although there is rare loot and it's really cool for other things like the wither skeleton skulls and so on, and blaze rods. You cannot find ancient debris there, or you can't find the smithing template. You can only find the rib armor templates and so on. So do not waste your time searching the fortresses, as I did when I returned to this game, because I was not fully aware until I realized you can only find this in either the Bastion Remnants or strip mining at 8 to 15. But just on the nether fortress, I will be making a separate video for this series explaining the fortress itself, what to find and what you want to bring alongside with you to be prepared, and also what you're going to gain and what purpose you'll want to explore that biome for. But also, as well as this, the same as the Bastions, I will be explaining in a future episode, explaining all of the different types of remnants, what to find, what to expect, and so on. So look out for these guides on the channel in future episodes. But anyways, as for the Bastion themselves, there are 4 different types of Bastion Remnants, one of which is known as the Treasure Room, and this is the only type of remnant or different type of bastion that you can get a guaranteed smithing template for netherite armor, which is what you will require in order to actually make netherite armor itself. Now, as of the latest update, you will need a smithing template in order to now craft netherite armor in this game, which is a real pain in the arse. I myself am actually happy with this because I think it gives more purpose to the nether, as traditionally, once you explore it once or twice and you sort of, get what you need, or you're satisfied that you've done everything you wanted to do, you don't really need to go back there. Whereas in the latest updates and playing survival now, there is more of a purpose for grinding out and finding bastions themselves, which can take a real long time, because as I mentioned, there are 4 different types of remnants and only the treasury has a guaranteed template in it, whereas the bastion bridge or the Hoglin stables, they won't guaranteed have this in it. And if you're like me, you'll find the treasure room last in your findings, and you won't find the actual template in any of the previous 3 that you found. Whereas I actually found 4 or 5 different types of bastions before I exactly found the right one, which was the treasure room, and I still didn't find the template until I got to that treasure room. So it can be quite painful. So in my advice, you just have to explore the nether. If you have an elytra, it makes it a little easier if you know how to use an elytra and you're comfortable in doing so in the nether, because there's so many risks involved with flying around with an elytra. But you will need to explore these bastions in order to get this template, which is required. Once you get this template, you actually then can take it back to your base and you can actually duplicate it with 7 diamonds, and the template will allow you to make a second template and so on. So once you get 7 diamonds, you can keep making more of these. So do not use your last template. Make sure you always save a copy and have it stored in the base for worst case scenarios, in case you run out of your armor, or in case you just want to make a second set for if you die and you want to make sure you have a protected set back at your base for you to start again. Now, how do you actually make netherite itself? So firstly, you will need 4 ancient debris, 4 ancient debris can then be smelted in a furnace or a blast furnace, which will then smelt down into netherite scraps. And then from there, you will need 4 scraps and 4 gold ingots put together in a crafting table to make 1 netherite ingot. And you will need obviously 1 netherite ingot per piece of armor, tool, or weapon that you are trying to turn into netherite, as well as a smithing template to go alongside it with it. So as you can see, you're going to need quite a lot of diamonds as well as ancient debris in order to do so, and of course as well as some gold, because you'll need 4 per ingot as well as that. So just consider all of the resources when you're trying to make this netherite armor. Now firstly, with this, you will need a smithing table, which is a workbench in this game, which can be made in the crafting table, which requires 2 iron ingots and 4 wooden planks of any type of wood. And then that way you can go into the crafting table, create a smithing table, place that down, and this can be used to upgrade any diamond armor or weapon or tool into netherite itself by using 1 ingot of netherite, 1 template itself from netherite template, and then as well as the tool, weapon, or armor that you're trying to upgrade into netherite. And that's pretty much it. That's the full guide of how to make netherite armor, including how to mine and find ancient debris, how to make the ingot itself from smelting it down into a scrap and then transforming it into an ingot, and then how to actually make it into a netherite piece of armor, tool, or weapon by utilizing the smithing template. That is extremely hard to get in this game, but once you have it, as I mentioned, you can duplicate this over and over again, which is not cheating by any method. It is literally as simple as going into the crafting table, putting a smithing template in there with 7 diamonds, and that is how you duplicate netherite in this game. And then that way you will never have to go find that Bastion Remnant again, which is often has to be the treasury room, as I mentioned, because it's quite rare to find it in any of the other 3 remnants themselves. But anyways guys, there you have it. That's the full guide on how to get netherite armor in this game. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you have any suggestions, any cool tips and tricks that you've learned along the way, let me know down below in the comments. I'll remind you, as I said in previous episodes on this series, I am playing Minecraft Survival for the first time in over 10 years, so I am a little bit rusty, so there is things that I am not going to be aware of, so I'd appreciate any feedback, and so will the other newer players that are tuning into these videos for the first time. So if you have anything that you want to share, please let us know down below in the comments, and I'll get right back to you. I'm Vision SGN, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.